I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlin is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this game just as a lot of other players have. But it is what it is. And I think that we are all benefiting from the effects that she's had on the game. And I just appreciate the way
There's been a lot of buzz recently about Caitlin Clark, and honestly, I don't see what the big deal is about people praising her. She deserves every bit of love she's getting, and she's truly helped transform this game, just like so many other players before her. The way she shows up and plays the game is inspiring, and we're all benefiting from the impact she's had. But what's even more remarkable is the way Lisa Leslie recently defended her. Lisa didn't just talk about Caitlin's talent, she gave a lesson in
Season 2. What's some advice that you would give for me?
Season 2, I can't wait to work with you some more. The biggest advice I have for you is going to be how you shoot your layups, period.
And mentorship on a podcast. It wasn't just the usual back and forth, it was a true masterclass in how to uplift others. And it all happened on Angel Reese's own podcast, where thousands were listening in. Let's pause for a moment. When a Hall of Famer like Lisa Leslie steps into a conversation, it's a game changer. She didn't pick a side in the Caitlin versus Reese saga that's been dominating headlines. Instead, she took the opportunity to elevate the entire conversation. She praised Caitlin for,
but she literally got called out for missing layups. I mean, on her own damn show.
All while offering some valuable advice to Reese that could help her grow as a player. Lisa Leslie didn't just defend Caitlin Clark, she acknowledged the bigger picture. She didn't make it about rivalry, she made it about growth. She praised Caitlin for her humility, her respect for the game, and for giving props to those who came before her, something that's not always common in a league where players sometimes act like they invented the game. In a world where some are quick to criticize, Caitlin is showing love to the legends who laid the foundation. And that speaks volumes. But perhaps the most jaw-dropping moment came when Lisa Leslie took things a step further. On Angel Reese's own podcast, Lisa didn't just talk about the game, she went straight to the heart of it. With no hesitation, she called out Reese's biggest weakness, her finishing at the rim, specifically those missed layups. Imagine the moment, this wasn't some throwaway comment. It was direct, honest feedback that Reese needed to hear, delivered in a way only a legend like Lisa could. Lisa didn't sugarcoat anything. She said, "The biggest piece of advice I have for you is simple, work on how you shoot your layups." It was a tough but fair critique. And
I love that. I love that she's not the player who's like, it's all about her. It's not. She's giving love and homage to those of us that have come before her. She shares the wealth with her teammates, and she doesn't have to do that. So I just don't, again, I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlin is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this.
It wasn't cruel, it was just real. It's the kind of advice Reese might not get anywhere else, and it's exactly what she needs if she wants to elevate her game to the next level. Let's be real for a second, Reese is an incredibly talented player. Her ball handling, defense, and outside shot have all improved. But to be the best, it's those little things, like finishing around the rim, that make all the difference. Lisa Leslie's advice was clear, put in the work, shoot those 300 layups a day, and make them count. And here's the thing, we need more of this in women.
She's a competitor. She's a trash talker. She makes players around her better. She's exciting to watch. And quite frankly, I've missed seeing her. Being at Unrivaled, I wish she was there. Like, I've missed seeing her play. So I really look forward to seeing her back out there. But as I do all of the WNBA players, like, we are really watching a very...
who not only talk about the game but live it. We need mentors who aren't afraid to call out weaknesses, because that's how champions are made. It's not just about being good. It's about being willing to grow, to improve, and to support those around you. The game is better when everyone rises together. Angel Reese is an incredible player, standing at 6 feet 4 inches, but even she struggles with something as basic as hitting a layup. There have been viral videos showing her miss these simple shots in games. Lisa Leslie didn't
The biggest advice I have for you is going to be how you shoot your layups, period. Like, we're going to fix that. Yeah. That's fixable for you. And I think that's probably the biggest. I think your shot from the outside is improving. I love that your ball handling is good. Your defense is...
She taught her. And that's what makes Lisa such a force. Instead of embarrassing Reese, she elevated her by telling the truth. It's the kind of coaching moment that goes beyond the typical, pulling a rookie aside and saying, "You've got the talent, but your fundamentals need some work." If Angel is smart, she'll take that advice as a gift. It's the type of tough love she needs to hear if she wants to take her game to the next level. We need to appreciate moments
game where she literally needs to put up like 300 shots a day. And I'm not kidding. Like 200 or 300 shots a day, and that's missed layups. She's 6'3" or 6'4", can't hit a layup to save her life. And literal videos have went mega viral.
Criticizing, it's about building up. And let's talk about the TV coverage. Sure, there's been some frustration over how many national games Caitlin Clark's team has gotten, but should we really be upset about a few more broadcasts? We've got access to these games in ways we never had before, and we should appreciate that. Thanks to all the platforms supporting the WNBA, we're seeing these women get the spotlight they deserve.
Go out there and prove yourselves. And listen, are we going to get upset about 5, 6, 10 games less on television or not? I don't think we should. We have access to find these games now in a way that we never had before, and we have to appreciate that, and all these platforms that support.
Stars rise, everyone benefits. Lisa Leslie understands this better than anyone. When one player gets the spotlight, it helps elevate the entire league. More eyes on the game means more money, more coverage, and more packed arenas. And at the end of the day, it helps both new players and veterans get paid what they deserve. Leslie even addressed the drama surrounding Caitlin Clark's TV time head-on. When Stephen A. Smith had an interesting conversation with an ESPN analyst about the Fever's TV slots, the question arose, why is Clark's team getting so much attention? Leslie broke it down perfectly. When one of us eats, we all eat. She's saying,
interesting discourse with Fee recently over the number of games the Fever broadcasted this season compared to other teams who have also got stars on them. So curious what you make of W's decision to lean into highlighting it.
Of games Clark's team gets on TV, you should actually be thanking her for bringing in more viewers and boosting the entire league's profile. Caitlin Clark has had a huge impact on the women's game, and anyone who doesn't see it is missing the point. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. She's bringing attention, bigger arenas, and more opportunities to everyone. If we're mad that she's getting more national,
and we cannot deny what Caitlin Clark has done for the women's game, I'm not going to act like it's something that we don't see. She's had a huge effect, called the Caitlin Clark effect. Yes,
visibility helps all the players, not just herself. Lisa Leslie also shut down any idea that Caitlin Clark needs an NCAA championship to solidify her place in the greatest of all-time conversation. Leslie pointed out that she didn't win a championship either, but still earned National Player of the Year and all those individual awards. Winning a championship is tough, and it doesn't define a player's greatness. It's hard to do, and the road is long. So, just because someone didn't win a national title doesn't make them any less of a player. Then came the line that really sealed it all. Lisa Leslie said Caitlin Clark deserves every bit of the attention, endorsements, and hype she's getting because she's changing the game. Coming from someone who literally helped change the game herself.
Do you think winning an NCAA championship is needed for that eventual GOAT conversation, greatest of all time status?
Absolutely not. I didn't win an NCAA championship. I was National Player of the Year. I won all of the individual awards, but sometimes, you know, it's very hard to win a national championship, regardless of how much people talk about it, like, oh, you have to have it. It is one of the hardest things to do in a tournament where you have so many games and you're trying to get there. So yes, shout out to all of the players who were able to win national championships, but it doesn't make a player who didn't win a national championship any less of an amazing individual player and the possibility.
Lisa Leslie is so thankful for Caitlin Clark and all the women who are pushing the game forward. The big picture is clear. The success of one player impacts everyone. We need to step back and appreciate how much this is changing the landscape of women's sports. So, what did we witness? Not just a defense of Caitlin Clark or a critique of Angel Reese, but a true moment of leadership from one of the game's all-time greats. Leadership is about lifting others up, correcting when necessary, and most importantly, telling the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Lisa Leslie isn't here to play games, she's here to make sure the game keeps growing. Caitlin Clark is proving, day by day, that she's not just a media sensation, she's the future of women's basketball. Lisa Leslie, a WNBA legend, has been waiting for someone like Caitlin to take the game to new heights. Unfortunately, some veterans in the league struggle with accepting that newer players like Caitlin are gaining more recognition than they did in their prime. It's a difficult pill to swallow, but it's the reality of where the sport is heading. You'd think a young player like Angel Reese would dream of basking in nothing but praise from someone like Lisa Leslie, a Hall of Famer. But instead of a standing ovation,
Completely on the money here. And that's just a problem when it comes to a lot of the old WNBA, is that they just can't. They just can't not even wrap their head around. They can't just accept, okay, this person is more popular than
more valuable, a reality check from Lisa Leslie. And not just any critique, a straight-up masterclass on improving her game. Yes, we're talking about layups. Layups, the very basic skill that every player learns early on in their basketball journey. For someone who brands herself as the Bayou Barbie, Angel Reese might want to consider adding Layup Lab Rat to her Instagram bio because, quite frankly, she's not very good at them. When looking at her stats, it becomes evident, she shoots a poor 39% from the field and struggles mightily on shots from less than 5 feet. Even worse.
In fact, she is not good at layups. But I was looking at her stats. I jotted some down right here, and she shoots an abysmal 39% from the field. She shot below 50% on shots less than 5 feet away, which is bad. And even worse than that is that shots from 5 to 9 feet.
Shooting percentage from 5 to 9 feet is an abysmal 13%. In the nicest, most big sisterly way possible, Lisa Leslie highlighted Angel's struggles at the rim, specifically her finishing issues under the basket. It wasn't a harsh breakdown, but rather a gentle reminder that, as the face of a franchise, Angel Reese should be better at these easy shots. Layups are a given for a player in her position. Lisa was offering valuable insight, guidance for improvement. Angel Reese had full control.
WNBA leveling up and all eyes on her now. I think that she knows that she has to completely restructure her form because that is not the way to be efficient in the post position that she is in. At the post position that she's in, a layup is supposed to be a given. She needs to improve her touch around the rim, like all over the place, but she seems to take these desperation shots